Yeah, and one of the benefits of history that a lot of our guests in this series have talked about uh, is recognizing how the past informs our present, and we can learn from these different characters and build on what they did. So an A.E.S. Stevens or a Dr. Purdy can help us to evolve in our own thinking with our own struggles today, and none of us are perfect. They weren't perfect. We're not perfect, but we can build on one another's stories. And I talk about it as, avoiding either divinizing or demonizing. We are human beings who are frail and faulty, and continually trying to evolve in our thinking and our enlightenment. And learning about these different people just helps us to do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And so
And
I'm nobody's judge.
allowing our opinions to change,
Yeah.
taking information and allowing our opinions to change, having those debates with people, listening to the opinions. And you may not always agree with them, but especially with some of the programs that St. Luke's has started doing, you guys are really trying to be a safe space, especially with the civil conversations that are coming up, to have some of these conversations. And I really think that part of that is trying to evolve and listen to each other. And if we go into some of these conversations and into some of these safe spaces, and we're not actually actively listening, then the purpose is lost. The whole point is that we can listen to some of these opinions. We may not always agree, but listen to some of these opinions. Look at some of these historic figures. Look at some of this history. Just be open-minded. I feel like we said this early on too, possibly even in the first episode that we did together, talking about trying to be open-minded and really pay attention to the context. And while we're trying to understand, the hope is that this knowledge will help us evolve and be better people. And maybe our opinions will change, hopefully for the better. But maybe our opinions will change. Maybe our views will change. Maybe someone will say something that, I hadn't thought of that like that before. And part of it is actively listening and paying attention and seeing how this history continues to impact us today. It impacts us so much every single day in ways that we sometimes don't even realize.
Well, thank you for giving the shameless plug about our programming. And I'll amplify that just a little bit in that Civil Conversations is something I'm really looking forward to. And it's going to be kind of a dialogue with Tony Williams and myself. Tony was one of our previous podcast guests and a frequent lecturer at St. Luke's and a blogger for us. And we're going to have throughout the summertime some conversations between the two of us who have different points of view. And one of us is maybe leaning a little more right, one a little more left, and I'll let the audience figure out who's who. But our goal is to find ways that people with disparate points of view can continue to be in dialogue and to care about one another. Tony and I are just great friends, and I value his friendship so much. And I would be bereft if I were to allow those political differences to sever our relationship, and we just don't allow that to happen. So we're going to try to share that a little bit and some founding principles of our country that I think all people can kind of rally around. So hopefully that accomplishes that goal to some degree. And I want to encourage our listeners to, if this has been a hard-hitting kind of series of episodes in the second season, and if they were in any way anxiety-producing or made you feel defensive, let's talk about those things. Like Rachel has said, conversations are supremely important. And my point of view about history, or Rachel's, is not the last word. We're just two individual voices that do the best we can to base opinions on the facts as they're presented to us.
And St. Luke's focus on freedoms, on the development of religious freedom, as well as freedom of speech. And I think that basically the intention of St. Luke's, especially as it develops even further, is to be a safe space for some of those conversations. And so take advantage of that. As listeners, take advantage of that safe space for those dialogues. I am going to add a shameless plug here because obviously I'm the curator of the Isle of Wight County Museum. Please take the time to come visit the museum if you're here in the area in Isle of Wight County. We do a lot of amazing programs, including some digitally, like Behind These Walls, where we talk about some of the different historic houses and buildings in Isle of Wight County, which can be found on YouTube, as well as our live at 12:05, which we do every Tuesday and Thursday, which typically is a very brief Facebook Live video that talks about some aspect of what's going on in the museum today. So we do so much work. Jennifer England is amazing and has created so many programs here. Please check some of those out if that interests you.
Yeah, and I'll share that we have a great relationship with St. Luke's and the Isle of Wight County Museum, and want to continue to partner together to tell these important stories. And I'm really excited about series to come that I think are going to highlight more of our local history in Isle of Wight. And we certainly need the partnership with Isle of Wight County to share those good stories. So thank you for spending this time with us, Rachel. Thank you for your continued partnership. Another shameless plug that we're going to have more cemetery preservation workshops that Rachel will lead as I learn from her about that. And you can go to stlukesmuseum.org to sign up for that and for other programming that we have. We look forward to our continued partnering in so many different ways. So thank you for taking this time out of your very busy schedule, Rachel, to be part of History from the Old Brick Church podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care now.
I look forward to working together in the future.
Indeed. Bye-bye now.
This program was supported by a grant from Virginia Humanities. Virginia Humanities connects people and ideas to explore the human experience and inspire cultural engagement. As the State Humanities Council, Virginia Humanities reaches millions in its estimated annual audience through festivals, grants, fellowships, digital initiatives, teacher institutes, radio programs, podcasts, apprenticeships, and school programs. Headquartered at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, Virginia, Humanities works to serve Virginians in every corner of the Commonwealth. To learn more, visit virginiahumanities.org. To learn more about St. Luke's Historic Church and Museum, please visit stlukesmuseum.org.